specified for parameter 2.
So where the number that like
Under the update, when I want to update.
Update, okay. Update, where is the update? Is it this side? The update, is it this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. So where exactly can
Spelling is SQL exception. No.
SQL exception.
Yes, exception.
Okay. Let me run it. Let's see whether we are going to have that problem. So let's see.
I don't know. Maybe I changed some of the usernames and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I typed everything trying to use my phone. I don't know whether it will work at your end.
Okay. It's even crashing my destiny. Let me run it again. Yeah, so we are still on the project. So if I should explain, this is the project as we began, the SDR management system. So I think we had a flow chart the flow chart had the modules. So we started with few algorithms, and then the database, I think we were part when we created the database. And so we had our first design. So this is what we did. And then fortunately, we move on to the database, we did everything. So we are on the models database, like the table you've created database. So we came to understand the concept of the string, or what we call string connection. So this is what we use for the connection. And then these are the controls that we have on the JFrame. You can see that we have designed JFrame. When you look at this, see the JFrame here, and then implement action listener. Why do we have this action listener? Because we want to integrate the event handling. When you click on a button, what happened? So you can see that after creating the control, we add what we call add action listener method. Here is it. You can see. So this is a method in the implement this one, the interface. This is the interface. So for every button, actionable button, we have to add this method. So that when you click on the method, when you click on the button, the method works, or there's an action. So we have what we call the action performed. Here is it. And the action performed is a must. So it's a compulsory implementation of the interface. So as we define, interface is used to ensure that all the methods defined in the interface are implemented. So this is the only method we have in the implement action listener. So this is an interface with one method. So we define this with what we call the action event. What is this action event? Is to help us to get the event on the button. So you can see here, the event I have on the login button, which is this login. You can see on the control design, we have it here. You can see we have control design. There is it. So even in the text, you can see login. So it's the exact name that we have used in the action performed. So when you come here, say we're just doing comparison of what we have on the action listener, and then the one that we put in so you can see we have the login here. So the text. So just want to get it, the button text, login. So we just want to compare what we have on the button to the one we have, the constant variable we have here. If it is the login button you click, then perform this one. We use this type handling method or handling procedure or handling module in this, because this, when you look at this line here, you can see this line. This line is a query. So anytime you want to bring in query here, you have to ensure there is handling of the errors. Definitely, there can be error in the query. So this one can generate error. It's possible it can generate error. So how do you try and catch the error so that you can actually report the error? So when you see this one here, you can see there is an object here. This object is an object of this class. So you can see it here that anytime you run this and we have error in there, just display the error here. So this is just the query. Now, see this question mark here. Why do we have this question mark? As a matter of fact, this query helps us to insert the value we have as we indicated here, question mark. It's supposed to be value that we insert into username and password. But we are using question mark. Why? Because we want to get the text from the control we create on the JFrame. So on the JFrame, we have what we call username text box, and then password text box. So you can see that there's a method get text here that we use to retrieve the text on the username, and then we assign to the statement. When you look at this statement here, we assign to the username we have here. The same thing, the password. The password does the same thing. So you whatever password you enter, this question mark, meaning that it's going to get this password and then insert into the respective password we created here. And then finally, we update. So when you update, there must be a line that actually ensure that whether the query has been updated. If it is true, then you see that it's going to get 1. Because when you are able to update this, you're going to see that you're going to see 1 record in your database or the table. So that 1 will be assigned to this row. That is why we declare this as integer, just to accept an integer value of 1. And then we do a comparison to whether this one is greater than 0. If that's the case, then just display this message for us: records successfully saved. So this is how we insert record into a table created in the database. If you want to delete, delete to is the same thing. You can see the query here. Delete from try data where username is equal to this. Actually, we use try data just to understand the models we need to save record, or in order to insert record into the table. We needed this table to try and understand how we can delete record from the table. So we did one here. How do you delete record? This is the query. So as we did here, the same thing here, you can see that we have this question mark. It means that we need to enter on the control, the text box, username. What actually do you want to delete? You type the username and then the value. You can see that there is a query here. This is a command to execute this query. Then this one will get the text on the username control. and then assign to this to perform the query. And then finally, we update. When we update and it's successful, you can see the row becomes 1. So 1 is greater than 0. Then say record successfully deleted. So this is the model for deleting record. When you come to update we have the same thing. You can see update. So when you click on the button update, on the JFrame, you see all these controls: the login control, the delete control, the save control, the update control, just to help us implement the modules for manipulating the data. So you can see the same thing here. Update try data set ID is equal to question mark. Actually, this is where the update will take place. When you have username being equal to this username you enter on the control. So this one will help us to actually get the username from the control on the JFrame. Now you see that we have two. This is set int. Why is this set int? Because the first line here is the user ID, and user ID has been declared in the table int. So when you get the text from the control, you have to convert from a text to an integer value. If not, we can't use this method. And then we also accept the username. Okay. So we are updating the record of the user ID using this one. Whenever the username is equal to what you enter on the control. So that is what we have here, the update. So that is what we have done so far. How to insert record, how to delete record, how to update record. And then we created the first that we created a record, a code that helps us to display record on a table. So I think that code is there. How do you display record on a table? Yeah, so far, this is what we have done. So let me run the code and see the errors we have here. Okay, so anytime you see this communication link failure, it means that you've not started the MySQL. So let's go and start MySQL. So let me start this one. Okay, so I've started the two modules. Let me go and run the database. Okay, so you can see the database. We have the SDR_DB. So we have two tables, student account and user account. But this one we just created to help us understand the concept of inserting, updating, deleting, and viewing records. So you can see this. So that's the user ID, the username, password. Okay. So let me run this one again because I've started the database. So it means that we can actually build our project based on what we've understood now. So the project is running here. You can see what we have here. So in the table, you can actually, let me go to the table and see what happened. So let's say this is the ID here. So So when you come here, we have the username here. So let's paste this one. Okay, so we delete the record using the user ID, sorry, the username. Let's see what we have here. So delete, let's go to delete. So for delete, we are using username being the condition. So it means that we have to get the record from the database, and then we enter here, go to delete. So record successfully deleted. See, so let's check the database. You can see this one is there, so just refresh this one. Let's see. So the record has been deleted. So we can actually create delete model on the exact project we are working on. So whatever you want to delete the same concept of code we have here. Then updating. So let's check the code for updating. You can see that the updating is based on the condition username. So it means that we have to enter username before we can actually update the ID. So let's look at this one, the database here. So I want to update this one here. I have to copy this one. The user ID is 3. So let me go here. So username is this one. I want to update the ID to, let's say, 90. So just click update. So for the update, let's see. For that update, I didn't get any. I was supposed to get record updated successfully, but I didn't receive anything. Let's check. See, so you can see that I didn't update this one. You see, I copied this one, and then I put it here. And then I want to update the ID. So let's do 52. And then I click update. So I think the update was working, but right now it's not working. So let's see whether we change the code. Let's see whether we have changed the code. So let's see whether we have changed the code. Let's go through and see why we have the problem. This is the update. Let's check first the update. Let's match it with the one we have on the control. On the control, we have the same thing, update, the same spelling. Here is it. Then we are saying that action listener, and then to bracket this. Okay, so let's look at the action listener. We are saying that event get action command dot equal this. What do we do? Update, that's the query, update try data. Set ID is equal to question mark, where username is equal to question mark. Okay, then this is the command line to help us execute this query. Okay, and then it's saying that this one is to check the entry of, to convert the ID. Okay, and then we have this one to, I can see 1, 1. I think Thomas made a mistake. You see, this one, what we did here, question mark, this is the first one. And then this is the second one. But when you come here, you can see that we have the update. We have 1, 2. So this first question mark, is for this one. And then this second question mark, so this one should be 2. Yeah, I think, Thomas, this is the error created here. This is 1, this is 2. So this one is going to get the second one. If you have another third question mark, then the next one will be 3. So let me run this one and see the problem we have. So let me run this. Okay, so we have the program here. So let's check the database. So this is what I have. I want to update this one. So question username is this. User ID is 50. Then update. Yeah, I can see another error down here. It's saying that unknown column ID in field list. So let's check unknown column ID. So unknown column. Okay, so we have 1, we have 2, and then okay, let's see. This is ID. Is it user ID? Let's check the database. Or sometimes this is user ID. So you have to do the same thing here, user ID.
In my, I use ID. That's why I.
Oh, okay. You use ID. Okay.
Yes.
That is it. So in your place, you have to put ID here. I think the only error is this one, with respect to yours. So let me run this one again. Let me stop this and run this one again. Okay, so let's check the database. Here, let me copy the username here. Username. I want to change the user ID to 50. So update. So that is it. Record updated successfully. So let's check the database. So that is the ID. So we have been able to change the ID. So I think you have to check the line for this line here, and then you check 1, and this one is supposed to be 2. So that is it. So what we have to do is now to work on the main project. Okay, it's the main project. So I want us to look at the first one, which is the user account. So I'm going to work on the user account right now. Let's quickly go to user account, and then let's see how best. Okay, so you see user account. What we need to access the account or the main page or the system is the username and password. So you have to create username and password and log in. So how do we do that? That is what I want to, another model that I want to work on. So we are still using the try data, which is username and password that we want to use. So now we are able to actually access when you go to this, if you run it. Yeah, so this is our first page when you want to log in. So we enter, let's say Ben. and then we enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We click login. Then we log in. How do we go about that? So right now we have our model set. Now we have the insert code, the delete code, the update code, and displaying onto a table code. So let's look at how do we log in. So in the action performed, this action performed, we have to put a code there. So actually this one is to insert the account. I'm going to change this text and make it create account. And then we use this login for the logging in into the system. So I'm going to do that right now. So this, we will need another. So this one, we will need another one. Actually going to be, let's add it here. So it's a button that's going to be BT create account. So I'm going to just replace. So I'm going to do that right now. So replace this one, replace this one, replace this one. So I just replaced the button login, the first one, that for this one to use to create account. So I'll do the same here, create account. So when you come here, that is okay. So in the action performed method definition, let's put this one. So the moment we click on create account, then this one will be performed. Then we are going to create another one, which is the login, this login. So we already have the login here. But I think when we run it, because we are using the same set bound parameters, we're going to replace this one. We won't see this one. So let's try and modify this one so that we have a different shift of the control. It will be displayed somewhere. So I'm going to push this one. I'm going to add, let's check the last one here. This is, the X is 230. I'm going to make it, let's say, 250 or 260, so that it will push to the right side of the control. I think that is all. Then we are going to create another if statement here. So the if statement here, as if, so we have event.get action command dot equals, so equals what? Equals the login. So we have okay. Else if, okay, so we have this one. Now, because it's going to be, we're going to actually check what we have in the database. So we have to get a string. So get a string SQL command. So let's say select star from try data. See, where username is equal to what we enter on the screen, and then so it's a combinational condition. Combinational condition, join two condition. So where password and password is equal to question mark. Now we have to create our statement to execute this. So say prepared statement STMT is equal to connection, that's the connection created. So prepared statement, then we put the query here, SQL CMD. Then when we finish the statement we created, what do we want to do?